If you like this video, why not subscribe? Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Frugal Filmmaker Tip of the Month. Now, you may recognize this screen here as Celtx, the free screenwriting software that's readily available on the internet. Not only is it a great screenwriting program, it's free, and it allows you to do things such as overhead diagrams, storyboards, shooting schedules, all kinds of stuff, as well as write scripts. You can see here that the formatting is taken care of for you. Up here we have your slug line, which is your interior-exterior location, day or night, action, left justified, character toward the middle in all caps, a parenthetical, and dialogue. The program takes care of all these formatting things for you. It's really easy to get to just by tabbing. Here's an example of Celtx that I've written my short film Temp Insanity in. Here you've got slug line, you've got action, you've got the character name, parenthetical, and dialogue. So it's a really great program. I highly recommend it. I'll leave a link to it in the description. And that will take you here, which is the Celtx website. And you notice that not only is there a Windows version like I have, there's also a Mac version and 2 Linux versions. There are also a myriad of languages you can get this thing in. So for all the international viewers of this show, you might like that, so you can write your script in your native tongue. I think that's pretty cool, actually. Also, there is a mobile version, which came out not too long ago, that will allow you to use your iPhone to write your screenplay or edit your screenplay. It's a great idea. I love the idea of being able to edit on the go, which is kind of what this episode is about. However, as much as I love this idea, I don't have an iPhone. So how can I take advantage of this? What if you have an Android phone? I don't have one of those either, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Then there is Fade In, which is another screenwriting program that's highly regarded. It's not free. It costs $50. But it also comes in many varieties: Windows, Mac, Linux, iPhone, iPad, and Android. Look at that. You can get an Android app. I think that costs about $5, $4. And you can do the same thing. You can now edit your screenplay or write your screenplay on your Android phone. So how do you set this up? How do you set up the sync point or whatever where you can put your script in one spot and then work on it from 2 different places, essentially? Well, that's where Dropbox comes in. Dropbox is, probably everybody knows about this now. Essentially, it's just somewhere on the internet, on the cloud, if you will, where you can dump files and then access them from anywhere there's an internet connection. I've got some folders set up here. One of them is called Screenplays. I just dump my screenplay file in here, and then I can access it from anywhere there's an internet connection. Now notice I don't have any Celtx or fade-in scripts here. I just have a simple text file. Also note that both on iPhone and Android, you can get an app from Dropbox that will allow you to send your screenplay or get it right from your phone. So that's also very handy. But back to the text file here. Why do I have a text file instead of a formatted screenplay file that I can edit? Well, the fact that I don't have an iPhone and I don't have an Android phone led me to this Stu Mashowitz Prolost blog post. If you don't know who Stu Mashowitz is, you probably heard of his book, which is the DV Rebels Guide, which is an awesome book for micro-budget filmmakers. But Stu had this idea a while ago about using what's called Screenplay Markdown, which essentially he would take his screenplay, format or write it in a text editor. The idea was that instead of using a screenplay program where you're always tabbing around and for formatting purposes for what you see is what you get, you just type everything in a text editor, which keeps you typing faster. And then you use embedded format commands that he came up with and use this program called Screenplay Markdown, which when you import it, or it'll actually show you what you're typing in the proper format while you're typing it in a text editor. And that's a really cool idea. I'm not really going to get into that per se because it's a little above what I'm trying to accomplish here. But you can read his post, and I'll put the link in the description below so you can see exactly what he's talking about. Plus you have to have a Mac to get it to work exactly how he's talking about. So I don't. But I like the idea of using a text editor because text editors are everywhere on every single computer platform, probably from the advent of computers. And in Windows, you've got your most basic editor possible, Notepad. So here I've got a basic scene typed up here, sort of in screenplay format, meaning I've got the slug line up here in all caps, I've got action, I've got character name, I've got a parenthetical, and I've got dialogue, and it's all left justified. So now I can take this file, I can put it in Dropbox, and if you recall, there's the file, test script, and I can access it from any smartphone where I can probably get a text editor. I've got a Palm Pre Plus, and you can actually, there's actually a Palm Pre Plus app for Dropbox called Dropboxify, so I can actually move things around from my phone. And there's a text editor called Pretext, which will allow me to edit my screenplay on my phone. And even if I didn't have an app, if I had a different, maybe there's a Linux phone out, the Linux smartphone, or a different operating system. If you can access the internet, you can use Dropbox. You don't need an app to do that. So you now have the opportunity to work on your screenplay from wherever. Let's suppose you're at work and you want to work on your screenplay. You probably have a text editor, but you probably can't download Celtx or Fade In or Final Draft or whatever to your work computer. But you will have this. You will have a text editor with which you can do all these things. You can access Dropbox from the web. You can move your text file around. If you can't edit it on your phone, maybe you can use your work computer, or any other things you can come up with. I think this is a great idea. And if you're wondering while you're on the internet what your screenplay is going to look like, here's a website called Screenplain, which is really simple. And this is to be used with the Screenplay Markdown thing, or you can just give it any text file, and it will show you what your screenplay will look like. So I'm going to give it my test script, and then it will show me what it looks like in an HTML version, which, look, there it is formatted, so I can see what it's going to look like. So what do I do after I'm done? Okay, because obviously I can't do anything ultimately with this, because there's no formatting. You still have to have formatting commands. But what you can do is you can go into Celtx, or go back into Celtx, and start a new file, a new project, make it a film project, import your script. It will accept your text file, and presto, there it is in Celtx. Now the parentheticals don't seem to format properly. You do have to do a character turn after your parentheticals, but there, it's fixed. Now your screenplay is in Celtx, and you can pretty much finish it using Celtx. Now, of course, once you get it into Celtx, you can't get it out of Celtx in a text format, which is unfortunate. I tried it many times. You can export it as a text file, but it doesn't seem to look right. It adds spaces or something. And if anybody knows a solution for this, where you can export from Celtx and it will look right, so you can again use Notepad or another remote phone or whatever to edit your screenplay, I'd really like to know, because I think this is a great idea, and I would love to be able to move these things around to get this to work properly. But anyway, that's the basic idea. That's remote screenwriting. Use your phone, use any computer, use any smartphone to be able to work on your screenplay and have it end up in your screenwriting program and finish it from there. Thanks for watching the Frugal Filmmaker Tip of the Month, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.